In this video, we are going to demonstrate how to submit weekly matching funds claims in the electronic filing system web application, abbreviated EFS. The reporting being described in this video only applies to committees registered with the Public Campaign Finance Board, abbreviated PCFB, and participating in the Public Campaign Finance Program. In election years, there will be a period before both the primary and general elections during which public campaign finance committees have the option to submit claims on a weekly basis, and these are listed on our program calendar. We advise you refer to the program calendar to determine if you need to file a weekly claim or if your committee would just file the claim with a required report. These weekly claims should only include contributions being submitted for matching funds and must be disclosed on the committee's next applicable disclosure report. Weekly claims are optional. They are not a required disclosure for public campaign finance committees. If a committee chooses to file a weekly claim, the due date would be Monday at 1 p.m. Any claim submitted after 1 p.m. will be accepted for the following week. Weekly claims will be paid at the next scheduled payment date. If a transaction does not contain all required information, such as complete contributor name, complete residential address, complete employment information, and so on, do not submit the transaction on a weekly claim submission. Instead, submit the transaction on the next required disclosure report. We will demonstrate how to submit weekly claims from our fictional Public Campaign Finance Committee named Committee to Elect Mary Williams. Then, we will show how to add them to the next required disclosure report. For this video, we will be working in the File a Disclosure Report page from the main navigation at the top of the screen. We will start by using the sidebar navigation. First, confirm the filer ID, filer type, and candidate or committee name are correct. Next, select the report year from the drop-down menu corresponding with the report you wish to file. Election type auto-populates. Then, select the appropriate report type from the drop-down menu. In this example, we will select primary because these disclosures will be disclosed on our next filing, the 2024 32-day pre-primary report. Election date auto-populates. Select the disclosure type from the drop-down menu. We select Public Campaign Finance Weekly Claim Submission. Enter the filing date after selecting the appropriate date range from the drop-down menu. For this example, we will select March 12, 2024 through May 13, 2024. Once all filters are chosen, select Apply to create the report. Select the Add New Transaction button to begin entering a transaction. A new dialog box opens. In the top 4 drop-down menus, you will select if the contributor is an in-district resident, if they're a minor, if they're a vendor, and if they're a lobbyist. Next, enter the date the contribution is received or select it from the calendar provided. Then, select the contributor type from the drop-down menu. For this example, we will select individual. Next, enter the name of the contributor in the field provided. Enter the contributor's address in the appropriate fields. Next, select the method of payment from the drop-down menu and input a check number if applicable. You will then disclose the amount of the contribution. The last question is contribution greater than or equal to $100 in the aggregate? Anytime a public campaign finance committee receives a contribution from an individual that is $100 or more in the aggregate, the contributor's occupation and employer's address must be disclosed. In this example, the aggregate contribution amount is below $100, so we will select No. Please note that the explanation field can be used to provide any other information. The asterisks indicate what fields are required for saving the transaction. Select the Save button, and a new dialog box opens with the statement, Transaction saved successfully. Select OK to close. Transactions will populate in the table on the page as they are entered after the Add/Edit Transaction dialog box is closed. Select the transaction row by selecting the checkbox in the Select All column. Then select the Submit Transaction button at the top of the page to successfully submit the transaction. If you have multiple transactions to submit, you may select the checkbox in the Select All column header to select all transactions on the page. A dialog box opens stating, Are you sure you want to submit the transactions? Select OK. A secondary dialog box opens stating, Transactions submitted successfully. Eligible matching claim submission will be paid to eligible participating candidates on the next payment date. Transactions will need to be reported on the next required disclosure report. Select OK to close. There is now a date and timestamp in the submission column in the table on the page for this transactions row. Now, we will show how to add these weekly matching funds claims to the next required disclosure report. Our weekly claim was submitted for the primary election, so we will need to create a 2024 32-day pre-primary report. We will begin working in the File a Disclosure Report page from the main navigation at the top of the screen. We will start by using the sidebar navigation. First, confirm the filer ID, filer type, and candidate or committee name are correct. Next, select the report year from the drop-down menu corresponding with the report you wish to file. We select 2024. Election type auto-populates. Then, select the appropriate report type from the drop-down menu. We select primary because the weekly claim will be disclosed on our next filing, the 2024 32-day pre-primary report. Election date auto-populates. Select the disclosure type from the drop-down menu. We select Itemized. Select the disclosure period from the drop-down menu. We select 32-day pre-primary. The cutoff date and filing date will auto-populate. Once all filters are chosen, select Apply to create the report. A dialog box opens displaying weekly claim submissions to be included on the newly created report. The dialog box states, selecting OK button will include the above weekly claim transactions as itemized transactions in the selected disclosure report. Select OK. A dialog box opens stating transaction saved successfully. Select OK to close. To confirm the weekly claims have been added to the disclosure report, select a transaction type from the drop-down menu and select the Apply button. Transactions will populate in the table on the page. As always, staff at the Public Campaign Finance Board is always happy and ready to assist you. Our Public Campaign Finance Call Center may be reached at 518-473-2784. For technical assistance, our IT help desk may be reached at 518-473-4803.